What's up, friends? Welcome to the Live Composing Show. This is Stephen Malin, and this is the Video Game Music Alliance. Hope you're doing fabulous today. So here we are on a Monday morning, 2022, October. And inside the Video Game Music Alliance, we have a monthly composing challenge. But this specific month, because we had Marco Yano, who is the lead audio designer recently on Square Enix's release of Valkyrie Elysium. We had him come in as a masterclass artist, and he taught us all the things about sound design. And he gave us a challenge for the month to get some practice and to score these two little gameplay clips. One of them is the press start sound from Elden Ring, and then the second was... Excuse me, still recovering. Ugh. Second one is a JRPG battle, a little gameplay clip where our little magician dude is shooting some ice, a little ice spell. And so, I just think it's super cool. This is an opportunity for everyone inside VGMA to get a chance to practice some sound design. And a really cool story about Marco. He actually used to be a student of mine. And what I found so fascinating is part of our time working together, this was about 6 years ago, when we were working together, we were putting together some demo reel materials. And so he would go into his favorite games and he would take a clip like this and he would create his own sounds or his own music. And then he would add those to his portfolio, to his demo reel. And so on his site, he would have all these clips from all these different things. And obviously, in some sense, that screams that you're a beginner, but it also gives you real material to show that you can get the job done in a real context. And so he used those materials to then pitch for an in-house audio design job at a company that's it's an outsourced company from Konami. And he moved to Japan to do that, which is so cool. And then that job led to his current role where freaking working for Square Enix. So I just think it's so cool that the route he took, anyone can take. And it literally starts right here with just getting your feet wet and practicing. Because real game developers, whether they're indie devs who are working on a small project with a small budget, or it's the top of the top A-listers, they all want the same thing. They want to know, are you going to get the job done? Can you do it on time? Do they have to micromanage you? Are you going to just get it done? And the best way to show that is with a real clip of something you've already done. And the cool thing about sound effects in particular is they're really fast. And so you could just have like 10 or 15 of these clips back to back, and it's only a minute long versus music. It's a little bit harder to showcase everything. But still, the idea is pretty simple. I highly recommend if you want to step into sound design for video games, you do this. Take this challenge and jump into it. And I really like that these are two very different examples. They're both fantasy-based, but you could go in a lot of different directions here. And I'm excited to hear how the different members of our group take this challenge. And so thank you for your patience with this stream. I had to start a little bit late because Pro Tools daggone crashed. I have a love-hate relationship with Pro Tools. It is fantastic when it works, but it has an awful reputation of just crashing, and it just doesn't seem to operate like other DAWs. Meaning, when you force quit, if there's a problem in Pro Tools and you force quit it, you actually have to restart your computer to even use it again, which is that's a deal breaker a lot of the time. Cubase also has a lot of problems, but when I force quit it, I can just reopen it and I don't have to close down my stream, But anyway, I'll show you in a second why I chose and why I continue to choose to use Pro Tools for sound design for video games. For me, it works. The way I use Pro Tools is not normal, but I use it to separate and to basically, I don't want to work with MIDI. Anytime I'm doing sound design, I really just want to work with printed final audio, and Pro Tools works really, really well with final audio clips with WAV files. And it has its own peculiarities like any DAW does, but that's what we're doing today. This is going to be a short stream. I'm hoping to knock this out in about an hour. I want to be able to create these two different distinct sounds. and be on our merry way. I have a very short window of time here today, but I'm excited to do this. So what's up, guys? I'm so glad you can join me again. We do lots of streams lately, so this is fun. And maybe you can learn a thing or two about one way to do sound design. This is my way. It doesn't make it the right way. And in fact, I am new to sound design. I've been writing music for games for 17 years. So I have my own processes there. But sound design, I'm brand new to it, and I've never been trained in it officially. So I love that because I don't know what's not possible. And so I do weird things with sound design that are probably not normal and probably not standard, but I think that can create some really cool results. So if nothing else, I hope that as you watch my process today, you're inspired in some way to maybe try this version of sound design. And if it gels with you, awesome. But let's jump in and I'll show you why my way of doing it is quite different. Yeah, it is super fun because it's very different. But the process for me in general is I like to take sample instruments, things like Massive or Absinthe or whatever, and I like to record, enable it, and I like to also grab an empty audio channel. Ooh, you can kind of hear my voice twice. It's pretty cool. And the idea is to go over here, and inside Pro Tools, you can just route the output to a track. So my Massive is going to be sent directly to my audio channel, and then I can record, enable that. And because of that, now it's going to be constantly recording two things at once. So I like to change the color. So here we have Massive and we have an audio channel. So now when I play my MIDI and I hit record, yes, it records the MIDI, but I like a destructive route of sound design. When I write music, nothing can be destructive because I need to go back and change it and mess with MIDI. But specifically with sound design, I treat it like I'm recording a synthesizer where everything is destructive. I record it because I want it to be the final. And then I'll take this one little chunk and I'll start messing around with the sound effects and the plugin effects and whatever, and manipulating it until I get exactly what I want. And then I'll start layering multiple of these things on top of each other until I get the exact sound I want. That is not normal. I've never seen anyone else do that. If you know of someone, I'd love to watch someone else try that. Sound design is a crazy, weird, experimental thing, and that's what makes it fun to me. Is it's very different from writing music. And Sarah says, "Is this Pro Tools first or paid version?" This is Pro Tools Ultimate, so it has all the features, has all the things. This is a subscription model. I had to switch to Pro Tools Ultimate. I guess 2 months ago when I was mixing for Dark Dice because I had well over 100 audio tracks I had to mix, and I just couldn't do it with previous versions. Crazy. I guess I did. Jay Metzer. I think I did just play Link's Awakening. Jeez, that's so loud. So that's kind of my style. The other way of doing this is to throw in sound effects from libraries and then to mix them together as well. So really all we're doing today, this is super simple. I could probably knock this out in 20 minutes if I just focused. But all we're really trying to do is we're trying to score this sound button right here. So in the actual game, it's kind of like a sword slash mixed with like an impact hit, and it goes, has like a lot of delay and reverb. So to me, I think that is the right direction because it's obviously a game about fighting and it's about the principalities and like rising to become the ruler of this land. And so there has to be some kind of like violence to it or some sound. And of course, you can do whatever you want, but knowing what the final version actually is, I do think we have to lean in that direction. So a couple of things I want to try to do. Let's open up Massive. And this is exactly how I do sound design. I experiment. I play around. So I just find myself landing in Massive a lot because it has such a varied palette of sounds and they're all synths. So for me, let me actually go to, we need some kind of hits. So let's find some percussion. Let's make sure everything's, oh, I know what's happening. We're not record enabled. There we go. So a couple friends. I'm a keyboardist by trade, so I like to make even sound design through a keyboard. And the way I do that is I play around with the pitch itself, where I'm playing on the keyboard. And I also play around with the mod wheel, and I play with the pitch bend wheel. Those are really, really useful tools. And generally what I'm going for is a character. I'm trying to think through pitch, kind of three things: pitch, frequency, and timbre of sound, or the tone of the sound. So is it need to be like a thud or like a really bright whack? And then we try to, I try to choose the pitch that would live in, and then I try to add the effects that would help to get it to that direction. So right now I want an impact sound that's going to be a low frequency thud, like a drum. None of those are way too synthetic, but I'm just going to play around. And I might end up just grabbing like I like the idea of a gong. So let's grab some real instruments. These are all synth based, which probably not the best for this particular thing. Let me actually go ahead and grab a few things. I'm just gonna call them contact. And on this one, I want to grab what do we want? Let me actually grab a gong, which is not contact at all. It's actually from play. This is the sound I hear in my head. I think we should start with. So go to my symphonic orchestra. Where are they? Cymbals, gongs. There we go. Let's just get us started on our journey. I feel like it needs like a big low thud. All right, so this is play. We're going to make sure this thing is routed to audio 1 because I like everything to be burned in, to be printed. And then we're just going to play. Okay, and I also want to make sure that my sounds are actually lined up to what's happening visually. And so I'm just going to scrub it until we actually, the player hits the button itself, which is there when the text starts expanding right there, it looks like. I'll get rid of the actual MIDI data. So this is a gong. Let's start manipulating it. So here, first thing is let's grab an EQ. I also like to loop. It sounded pretty loud. I'm going to loop this little section by going to my play button, right-clicking, and going to loop. And that way it just keeps playing it. Sorry, my loop was so long. I just want the thud part. And because it's MIDI, I can actually go in here and it's not MIDI, I should say. I can go in here and really just manipulate it to death. And even that was way too long, so I'm gonna do a little fade out. That'll do. And then let's throw on just a really big reverb. I like 2C Aether. B2 might also be another good choice. Actually, let me definitely use B2 because it's a bit of a more extreme kind of reverb. Yeah, this is like a delayed reverb. That's pretty cool. It has like that sci-fi delay at the end. I think it's pretty solid so far. I don't want to mess with it too much other than drop the volume a little bit because we're going to be mixing some other stuff. Cool. Another really fun. I want to make sure reverb is my last. I'm putting it last in the chain here. And my screen's kind of small because it's Pro Tools. Can't do much. But let's also grab. Let's try pitch shifting. So I'm going to grab this guy. Pitch 2, Pro Tools. Let's also start playing with it and dropping it down a little bit. Yeah. Hear that? Way different. Very sinister. Cool. That's like a low growl. I like that a lot. And because we pitch shifted it, I am going to put the pitch shift first in the chain so that my EQ can help get rid of any of those weird like artifacts that come as a result. It's already better. Let me put my looper back on. It's a lot of trial and error. I like some of that high end growl. Just play with it. It's pretty good. And it sounds a little synthetic, which I like, actually. It just comes with the pitch shifting. So cool. I like the gong. Now let's do some kind of hit or impact. Let's grab... I like taking real sounds and messing with them too. So let's grab... Oh, let's see. I'm just going to duplicate this. Yep. Let's call it... let's grab a contact instrument. I'm thinking Saga, I think is what it's called. A lot of big epic tribal drums library. You could grab anything. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Pardon Pro Tools as it auto saves. Pro Tools is such a pain in the butt sometimes. I just hope it's not like crashing. That'd be awful. Come on, sometime today would be stellar. Pro Tools has a way of like, when I'm using it for work, it doesn't break. But it's like when I'm trying to stream, it breaks. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I really don't want to start over. See, it's, oh, not responding. We are in freezing land. Oh, there it goes. My God, it took forever. Let me find Red Room Audio. And my, where is this thing? I think it might be one of these libraries. My stuff gets lost sometimes. Oh my gosh, where is it? I better not lose all this. Okay, 1 second. Red Room. Okay, that's what you get for being live. I don't know where that dang thing is. Maybe it's over here in my like template. Okay, let's go to orchestral, percussion, Saga. Okay, found it. Gosh, that was annoying. Let's get... Oh no. Sorry for the delay. Oh, because I moved it to my other drive. See, I knew that was going to happen. Some of my instruments, it's just my drives have gotten so full that I've had to move stuff around. It's annoying. Oh, I don't know if you should be envious, Jay. When you have too many libraries, you don't know how to find anything. Oh my gosh. Jew, I will not be using my voice on this one. This is not a tube and throat singing. I have not recovered from my tube and throat singing yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. This is exactly what I wanted, like a taiko ensemble. This will be fun. Let me arm it. Oh, that's why. We're going to put this on the next audio channel here. Yeah. I like that a lot. Some kind of roll that will mutate later. And again, this is not the way you're supposed to do sound design. Like the average sound designer, to my knowledge, just grabs a bunch of like real drum sound effects from libraries and then they mutate them. But like to me, I want to have my hands on the keyboard making the sound. And I feel like that's just part of my style. To me, it allows me to like nail the timing of it, to make the exact sound I'm hearing in my head, that kind of thing. That'd be cool to have that as like a little tail. So let's do 2 recordings here. The first one's going to be the stick tail. And the first one's going to be the drums ensemble roll. Let's call it drums roll. The first one, the drums roll. Let's go ahead and get that in. Cool. This may seem random, and it kind of is, but yeah, kind of made my own roll. Okay, and then let's use my tool to get rid of the MIDI. Let me mute that for a sec, and then let's grab. We're just going to change the output here to a different track, to the stick track, and we're going to print that one, and this will be the sticks wherever they are. I just want a few, and we'll put some delay to make them like a little shimmer effect. Kind of sounds like a shaker almost. But again, the whole process here is just to make audio happen. That way we can visually move stuff around. And I just can't beat Pro Tools for that. That's really its thing. I am going to color code these though, so I don't get confused. So the brown tracks are my sample instruments, and then all the gray ones currently are so ugly. I hate gray. Let's at least use blue or something so we can actually see what's happening. Okay, so far so good. I'll start manipulating. And I love not having access to the MIDI because it forces me to commit. It just forces me to do something interesting with it. So let's start mixing the gong with the drum roll. What's up, Casey? So what I want is the drums to go like a triplet, boom, and the gong will hit on that last one. We'll see what we can do to make this make more sense. EQ is usually your best weapon because it allows you to really alter the shape of the sound. That. Now let's do some delay. Let's try this guy. that one. Let me do B2 on this one. That's pretty cool. I might just move it over. And then every once in a while, just visually watching the click of the press start button. Make sure it feels good. I feel like this gong is way too long, so we're gonna put a fade out on that. Same as the drum roll. That feels good so far. Let's get the stick tail happening. This one, this actually sounds a lot like Onkelungs, which is a Breath of the Wild instrument. For this one, let's get some reverb on it. It's pretty neat. So for this, I really want to just kind of live in that mid-range, high range. Let's do a little fade out for him. Cool. And then we'll turn that down. It's like an afterthought kind of sound. Okay. Let's also play around with... I feel like it's still missing... Let's experiment with the frequency shifter. These things are crazy. You can absolutely mutate a sound using this. Check this out. I like that. Cool. We're getting there. Next, I want like either a brass or a low synth to go to have some like low impact thing. Let's start with massive, see what's inside here that might do the job. And I'll call it low brass synth. We'll just explore together, but I need some low grit. Not necessarily a pitch. It could be. The cool thing about a moment like this is there's no music happening. And if there is, it's light. So you can kind of do whatever you want, pitch-wise. You don't have to avoid anything. So I'm going to grab a brass synth and see what happens. Cool. Yeah, these would all do. first one was pretty cool, though. So let's try Elden Ring in space. It doesn't have to feel spacey. Not all synths feel spacey. Let's see what it feels like. I don't know if it can play while it's... Pretty cool. So Mr. Synth here. Let's line it up. Slap on the same B2 we've been using. That's cool. Okay, drum roll, I think, is too high. I think we just need to pull it back. Frequency. I think this should start sooner. So it should be like a boom hiss. Maybe be shorter. Now, I do want to bring in a sword of some sort, because I think that's a sound that you need in this context. So let me grab. There are plenty of good free libraries out there. And for this, I want to grab. I have a whole folder here of just free sound libraries. Bunch of different sources. Here, I'm just going to type in sword and see what pops up, and maybe just find a sound. That's pretty good. Ooh, I like that. But that's my favorite. Okay, so melee sword attack 4 for our simplicity here. I'm literally just going to drag that into my audio files so Pro Tools can already see it. I can do that inside my Windows browser over here. Whoops. There we are. So over here in my clip. Over here. I wonder if it still needs me to import it. There is software that allows you to connect, so you don't have to do all that nonsense. But there it is. Oh, I have to convert it. That's why. Because it was at 96K, and my session is at 48K. All right. Anyway, there's my sword. You can see it. I think that's gonna help a lot. Ooh, now we're getting fancy pants. That's cool. everything is off slightly. I think all it needs now is that same reverb we've been using. Just way less of it. Cool. I feel like drum roll is a little bit off. What do you guys think? You think it works? I'm not the greatest sound designer there ever once was, but I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm actively doing this as part of my career now, which I think is so much fun. And this is how I do it. I work in Pro Tools now for sound design, which is weird, but it works. Now, it could probably use a little bit of glue. Let's make sure this is still running for you guys. Nope, there it goes. Ozone might be helpful here, just to help mesh them together into one identity. So here's a situation where something like this might be helpful by using one of these presets. Could really help unify it into one cohesive sound instead of feeling like 5 things on top of each other. That feels better. Feels way better. Cool. You're just playing la 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 la. Excellent. Cool. I'm happy with that. So, really, all I do from here, I'm not going to make the mistake of trying to export from Pro Tools video because it's not the best. So all I do from here, the proper way, is to select the beginning of any of your clips, hold Shift, and oops. Basically, you're going to click the end and the beginning of any of your clips so that the range up here in Pro Tools is selected, and then I use my shortcut. Not that one. Not the delete everything. That's a dumb button. But this right here. That way, we'll call this Elden Ring. Press start button. Pop that sucker in. And that's all there is to it. And then, because I have 2 separate video files that are not compatible with one another, one's 30 frames per second and one is 29.97, because I didn't convert them, I have to open up a new session of Pro Tools. So really all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to import the second video we're using today. That wasn't bad. I did that in 20 minutes-ish. 20-ish minutes. I talked a lot. Now I'm going to grab a new clip. Stop yelling at me. How do I delete a video in Pro Tools? That sounds like a lot of work. So let me just do this. Make a new session. So this one is going to be JRPG Battle Ice Spell. Yeah, it usually takes me about 20 minutes to make a fresh sound. So I can do about 3 in an hour. That's my output speed. Some days I'll do more, but typically I'll do that for like 2 hours, and then I'll switch to writing music. And that's a typical work day for me, is about 4 or 5 hours of music and sound, and just kind of flip back and forth. It's really fun because they're very different. All right, so here's my ice spell video that you guys have access to inside the pro group. There it goes. And I'm going to import all my data from the other session we just did. That way I don't have to recreate all those channels for you guys. That's a huge time waste. So while I do this, enjoy the new coffee break screen. All right, friends, we're back. And this time, we're in Pro Tools. We're doing some sound design for VGM Alliance. Today we just did the Elden Ring press start screen. And now moving on to my version. This is a JRPG battle sequence. And in the middle of the sequence, our main character, this magician dude, he casts an ice spell on an enemy. Now we get to do that. I had to create a new session because the clips are two different frame rates and Pro Tools just screamed at me. So just copied over all my settings and now we're all set. This one's going to be really fun too because it's going to be super fun. Oh yeah, you guys are talking about the situation. It's really not a big deal, but the coffee break music that you just heard, I had to change out the track this morning because I wasted an hour of my life this morning trying to track down. There's a dude who blatantly took my music and re-uploaded it. I don't know how it got through DistroKid or whatever, but he successfully uploaded 3 tracks of mine from different albums, claiming them as his own, that he's now actively streaming and making money from and everything. That is not really I'm not super offended by that because that doesn't really affect my life, but it's annoying because now YouTube, every time those tracks are detected, it is not allowing uploads or it's flagging uploads from a copyright infringement on my own music, on my own tracks because they're mine. It's flagging them with these new releases, as well as game developers. I just had a guy reach out. I just talked with him this morning that he's trying to post a gameplay clip from his new game using my music that he got from a legitimate source from the Game Dev Marketplace where he downloaded and he bought a license and downloaded my music from. He's like, what's going on? Thankfully, he sent me a bunch of links. He did some research and he found the dude. So stupid. So I spent an hour this morning sending some legal disputes to the different marketplaces and YouTube and everything. It's just annoying. But in the meantime, I can't use that track anymore because it's, flags. So here we are. Can't even use my own music. What is this world we live in? And the craziest part is, I even went the extra mile of technically copywriting it by uploading it and putting it on the marketplaces. So I don't know how it got by the system. But no, we're not going to be hateful. We're going to kill him with kindness. Anyway, so that's why. Let's move on, shall we? So for this ice spell, this is going to be interesting. My favorite type of sounds to make I still hear it in my heart. It's, if you want to look it up, it's called Reflections in the Rain, and it's on an album called Lo-Fi Atmospheres, and you can find it any of the streaming sites, YouTube, etc. It's just now some other dudes trying to claim it, and some other tracks, but yeah. No, don't be hateful. Hate only hurts you. He doesn't feel your hate. He doesn't even know. Anyway, here's the cool little passage. That's a cool clip. I like that a lot. So there's a lot happening here. We have him turning. There's the cloak. There's the ice. There's the cast. There's the shoot. There's the explosion. So this is like a lot happening. So let's get cracking. I like fantasy sounds because you can do whatever the heck you want and you can make anything sound like anything. So there are no rules here. The only realism that I think has to be portrayed is the ice itself, because ice has a real sound in the real world. So I think we have to start with that as a base sound. So I am going to go back to my sample library, not my sample library, but my, my database, sound database. And let's search for ice. Even if it's a stupid sound of like pouring out ice on the table, it is helpful because it's going to give us a real world sound to base things off of. I like that one. That one's pretty cool. Let's grab that one for a starter. And maybe another one. That one's pretty good too, the cracking of the ice. Ooh, that's my favorite. That crunchy ice. So that's a good place to start. I'm just going to call these Ice 1, Ice 2, Ice 3. That way I can recognize them in the import here. And then you can make fun of Pro Tools all you want, but it is very good about keeping your audio files clean and in an organized way because it forces you to convert them to the session. And it tells you, which is nice. The other DAWs, you drag and drop something in, and then you have no idea what not the frame rate, but the sample rate was. It can get really tricky because like the pitch changed or something. So I do like that about it. And I do willingly use Pro Tools, by the way. Like this is my choice to use this DAW, and I know it has issues, but it is what it is. So here we are. I'm going to grab Ice 1, 2. Whoops. Uh-oh. What is happening? Okay. 1, convert. 2, convert. 3, convert. And then it's going to put all 3 of those. These are actually at 96K, which is great. Thank you, sound design people, for making my life better and recording stuff at 96K. I think that's awesome of them. I'm going to put all these as new tracks. All right, let's get cracking. Don't worry, guys. Matt shall return next week. He's out of town right now. He's on a trip. So good for him. I'm glad. This is his first week off working with me so far this year. And he deserves it. He's been kicking booty. It just means I have to do double time now. Not really. My work hours don't change. It just means I'm doing a lot of the admin stuff I don't love doing, but it is what it is. All right, so here is what we have. Let's see where we can place some of these guys. I love this sound for, let's scrub it in and put it right where he's like becoming frozen. It's like there. Oh no. Audio to MIDI. No. That is that's a new Pro Tools feature, by the way. Audio to MIDI, which is so cool. But I don't need that right now. Okay, there we go. So right when it gets icy. That's great because it sounds like ice is being squeezed, and then there's going to be the big release, of course. So let's find the next one. So maybe this sound is pretty good for the actual. So I'm going to call this ice squeeze ice break. And this is going to go right when it breaks. And you can actually see ice cubes flying, which is pretty cool animation. I like that reverb on there too. I should keep it. It's baked into the track here. It's really solid. Or liquid, depending on how you... All right, there we go. We'll do a little fade out because there's some reverb. It's a good starting spot. Methinks. Wow. Haven't even done anything yet. It already sounds pretty good. I like to always put some fade ins, fade outs. Not bad. Put some flames on those ice. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see what this third sound. That might help. That might go right about here when he's actually casting the spell. It's like right there before the actual ice cubes hit. That might be a nice little transition. So I'll actually call this, oops. I'll call this one ice forming. Okay, ice break. There we go. Yeah. So the impact is this part. So right there. There it is. Let's add them together. Cool. Now let's make some of this a little bit more cohesive with some B2 action, which is my big reverb of the day. Obviously, that's so overkill. May not need all that. But even just 5% can make a big difference. All right. Oh, this one's mono. So I have to do a different. So in this situation, I actually need to take this clip and I'm going to, this is going to be weird, but I'm actually going to create a new audio file because this is mono. This is going to be stereo. So I'm going to make the output this one, and I'm literally going to record it just like I would anything else and turn it into a stereo track. Oops. Like this. See that? How it went from mono to stereo. So now I can get rid of this. And as a result, I can use that same reverb. For all three. All right. The ice break, I think, is pretty solid. It needs a pitch shift really bad. So I'm going to lower that sucker to be really deep. So let's play around with it. All right, I like that. And that needs some kind of hit. Like almost an explosion. So for that, let's start playing around with some stuff. Let's grab massive. We're going to shoot this into an audio channel down here. Hope you guys are having fun. This is a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm having fun. Let's grab... I want something that is... Let's do... They have a cool sound effect section here. I really like to go to massive X for spells. It's just, you can make weird stuff out of this. That would be so cool for like a hex kind of spell, like you're casting. You can't see my left hand, but I'm playing with the mod wheel and the pitch bend over here, which makes it so much fun. And there's just so many cool things in here. But to me, you'll never get that unless you play on the keyboard. I like that. That'd be cool with the actual casting part. So let's play around a little bit, which is right around here. How cool is that? I'm going to keep that and just play with the audio. So this is the casting part. Let's listen to it again. Let me see where it actually starts. Right around here. Let's bump it to where, like, when he starts casting, which is like here. I like that. So let's turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to move it until it actually... I like that, the part where it released. I think should release right when it cracks. Right around here. Arfo, I didn't know you did some sound design. That's awesome. Okay, here it is. Nice. With the other stuff. Pretty good so far. All right, this guy needs to be tamed down, though. I actually want to do a frequency shifter. Frequency shifting just has weird results. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But you can come up with some really wild stuff. So let's solo that. Play. So this lowers the pitch. I like how it makes it whiny. Too much delay. The delay gives it that warbly, like kind of machine gun feel. I like a little bit of it, not too much. So we need something else on top of that. So I'm going to say cast high frequency because that kind of just lives up there in the high end. So I'm going to try another lower frequency by grabbing another. I'll just go ahead and call this one cast low frequency. And this is going to be a new track here. Yep, just one Matt today. Single Mateo. All right, let's see if we can find something else that's like much lower in the frequency range, but still sound designy, very spell casty. Yes, super swell. What's that? Let me find my keyboard. Hello. That's amazing. Unlimited power. That is spectacular. Let's just get it in. So is that better? Let's do low pitch. I'll go in the middle. I'll find a pitch that's in between. Obviously way too loud, but I like that one. Cool. All right. So another trick is to hold Shift and the Windows key on Windows, and you can literally just decrease the waveform itself without having to play around with the dB, the gain. And that's really helpful because you can visually get it to match everything else, which is quite nice. This bad boy just needs all kinds of taming because it's pretty intense. So this is super close. I'm going to find the peak. The zoom. Right there. I'm going to move it until it meets exactly when the cast happens. And then we're going to do a crossfade between those two. And then let's figure out where we want it to actually start. I want it to start right when he turns blue, which is that frame right there. And I'm also going to use my stretcher tool to stretch my first clip to start exactly when he turns blue as well. And this is why I like to use Pro Tools, because these tools are so freaking good for quickly making edits visually. So now I have everything lined up. We're going to do a little bit of a fade in on both of the casts. Let's get the cast to cooperate. Like this. That's so cool. This doesn't quite line up now. So now I'm going to take the back end and I'm going to stretch it as well until it fits. Oh, I have to get in my fade first. Whoops. You can't stretch a crossfade apparently. Get out of here. All right, let's try again. A little bit longer because I want this thing to fit. So now it's actually two. I did the opposite direction. So it's actually coming too late, so I have to make this even shorter. But it's nice because it keeps the whole clip in time. Okay, that time was too much. Just play around with it. Get it right. Oh, shut up. Stop yelling at me. There it goes. Nice. Now let's match our levels a little bit. I'm also going to put I could do a compressor, or I could just literally take the loudest part. I'm going to take the loudest part and decrease just that. Cool. Now let's do frequency on both because I want this one to be the high frequency. So I'm literally just going to scoop it. And then same thing with the low frequency. I'm going to scoop it the other direction. Let's get them both up here at the same time so that we can see it. And try to get these leveled up. Yeah, I mean, you could say that this is partly science, partly art. There is no right or wrong. You just get to keep experimenting until you get what you like. All right, those are pretty cool so far. This break part does not sound good to me. It's like okay. All right, let's get like an explosion-y type of sound. I might go back to the Saga here. I really like these taikos. And let's output these to audio 4. These be the drum hits. Might be too boomy. Right about here. But it's a place to start. All right. This guy, let's try to get him lined up. Right. When the action. Right, when he goes spam. Right there. But I don't want it to sound like a drum. That's stupid. Estupido. We want to just have a little thud. Here we go. Let's do a little loopy-loop. Okay, not bad. It helps. Now, let's get some impact hits from our database here. Let's just type an explosion. See what we can find. I'm sure there's a million things here. That was good. I have Sonic stuck in my head. Sonic 3, right? Or Sonic Knuckles. One of those. I think it's Sonic 3. There's your interlude for the day. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. How fun is that? We're using a fire explosion to create the sound of ice. No, of course. course, it's super overkill, so we have to tame it down. That works. It's probably too much of an explosion, like residue. Let's just do that. Yeah. There's a lot of editing in this kind of work. Even that's too low indie, too bassy. So we gotta tame it down just a tad. I like that high information. I like it. What else shall we do? Oh, this needs to be loved on. That's so wimpy. It's also way too loud. Yeah, this drum hit is lame. I want... It's okay. I think that the explosion just needs some reverb love. Right here. Sort of the drum hits. That's pretty good. This moment needs like more of an ice crackle kind of sound, like a that kind of thing, like almost like an explosion, to be honest. So let's explore. Not quite. That one's cool. Let's play with that. I'm going to call that one Warp. Ooh, Micah thinks glass break. Yeah, probably. Let me experiment with this first. I'm going to use an unusual sound first, which is, I'm calling this one Warp. And because it has that weird warble to it, I want to put it right when the ice starts to happen. Starts to form right there. Okay, so this guy, he needs some pitch. Yeah. Okay, Micah. Okay. Do love a good warble. A warble, warble, warble. Warble. Let's get the glass break. I agree, it needs to happen. Oh, that is awful. Let's use it. Glass breaking is like the oldest trick in the book for any kind of hit. These are all from free sound sources. There's an old sound source called the GDC sound library that you can look up from Sonnis, Sonniss. And every year, Game Developers Conference, they have sound designers put together some free packs, which are normally paid, which is super cool, very kind. All right, so this little guy, this glass break, let's find a good home for him. Yeah, I think high end it's going to work. Very different sounding glass, too. I like all of that. Let's do that. Maybe like this. Let's take glass and do something with it. There's a reverb in here called ice crystals. That's pretty cool. All right. Here, all over the place here today. So here's one. Probably use a pitch shift upwards. What a weird sound effect. I don't hate it. It's just not right yet. I think the drum hits actually hurt more than they help. I just need to tame them. It's just too loud or something. There we go. I like that mix. Sure. We'll call that our thing today. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just is creative, it's interesting. Let's gel all the sounds together. Probably needs some light cleanup. Let's see what that does. I like it. I'm gonna take my drums and pitch them up a little bit. I like that better. I'm actually really happy with that. Because it has two main sounds, right? It has the glass. But because we have that sound on top, it's like a constant, it like makes you want to wait for the, you know, the big hit at the bottom. So that's why I don't want to do any low frequency stuff till the end. The casts are interesting. The only thing left is to do the levels. It's pretty close. Put the explosion's a little loud. Even this part's a little loud. Maybe the only thing left to change would be the final pitch of this high frequency one. Let me solo it. It's already so screwed with that instead of messing with the pitch there, I'd have to change it inside the frequency shifter. Here it is without it. Let's see if I like it better without it. Might be better without it. Hard to tell. All right, I'm going to go without it. Final decision. Cool. And there we have it. There are all of the sounds. Da, 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 da. Is it the best thing I've ever made? Probably not, but it was fun, and we did it. So let me go layer by layer. Let's listen to it. And I'll be done for the day. So here we go, in order. Cool. I'm happy with that. It's weird, but that's kind of the fun of this stuff, is it can be super weird and different, and it all depends on the feedback, obviously, of the game developers. But I think for the sake of a demo reel, it's good to have very different types of sounds, and it helps. And the more you do it, the better you get. And I always like to have something that is uniquely me, which in this case I think was just kind of the weird combo of sounds and that kind of thing. But also, it's okay to use stock sounds. You just do something with them. Doesn't really matter what. And I try to keep it as simple as possible, where mostly the effects I'm using are just EQ. If you look at all these Ps, those are just EQs. Aside from that, a little bit of pitch shifting, a little bit of reverb, and that's it. At the very end, I did slap on an ozone, but really all it is an equalizer. It's an EQ for everything of the master, and it's a stereo imager just to make it feel a little bit thicker. But that's about it. So I'm going to end it there for today. I'm right on time, so I got to move on to some other things. Got some meetings and such, but appreciate you guys. This is a fun little extra stream for the week, and if you're inside Video Game Music Alliance Pro Group, then I challenge you to do your own sound design this week. I want to see what you come up with. This can be a real career option as well, aside from writing music for games. Games also need sound design, so they're very similar and have a very similar skill set and understanding of how to work with audio and DAWs and all that, and asset management, so you might as well do both. That's my opinion. Until you are at financially an option where you can decide, hey, yes, I can do one or the other. Can't hurt to get some chops under your belt. All right, guys, I will see you later. I'm super excited for Thursday stream, live composing show, where I'll be writing for a very, very interesting game, which releases very soon. I'm so excited. And it is none other than Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So I'm going to be giving it my best shot